episode 2. This is What If T'Challa was Star-Lord and people actually liked him.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about that.
Yes. He was a great
This,
Star Lord.
this entire episode, it was just dunking on Peter Quill.
I mean,
You know what? Peter Quill kind of sucks.
yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much.
T'Challa.
T'Challa, he's just a better person than you.
Yeah.
So, episode 2 of What If. So, building off of what we saw in the first episode, it's just taking characters that we already know and asking simple what if questions. This is basically Marvel's The Twilight Zone. So, this asks, what if Yondu didn't actually come to Earth and he sent his lackeys and they kidnapped T'Challa instead of Peter Quill? And we're getting a T'Challa that wants to be an explorer. We get that him and Yondu bond over him wanting to like see the entire universe. And we cut to a very familiar scene in Guardians 1. Sans come and get your love. But that scene, it plays out, and Korath, I think is his name, the Jaimin Hansu's character. He's a fanboy for T'Challa.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking wonderful. And it's a very different performance than we've gotten from Jaimin Hansu.
What If is amazing. And what I like about this one in particular is that everyone's like, oh, we want a black superhero that's just like, he's just a superhero. He's just this. And this is exactly giving us that. To me personally, like, I feel like him just wanting to be an explorer and wanting to just go out there, I could relate to that, but everybody can relate to that. You know what I mean? So they wrote a character where a majority of the audience can identify with him outside of, you know what I mean? The fact that it's clear his character and his roots. But I think he was just, I wish he had been Star-Lord. Like, hi kid, I kind of wish this was the Guardian Galaxy like we got for real. Like, I like the original ones, but this one was just so much more interesting. You know what I mean? Like, even the character changes with dang, I forgot her name already.
Nebula.
Don't smoke, kids. Don't smoke. Yes, I love this version of her. I really, really do. And it would be nice if they like even made it like this is before she turns into whatever she turns into. But I don't know. I like the variations of it. The variation of Thanos took me off guard. The Thanos variant. Right. That's also how I look at What If. It's like it's variant. But no, I really enjoyed this, man. This was like, I love this series so far, from the animation to they just know exactly like enough information for you to get invested, but it moves enough to where it's not lagging. But sorry, I'm fangirling. I love this series, by the way.
Yeah. No, that's very good. Yeah. So, like you said, with this series, with this episode, really get a chance to explore kind of all these, different elements and different things about, what these characters. And I think, as opposed to what happened in the first episode, because we reviewed that. I don't know how you felt about the first episode, but when we talked about the first
we weren't really crazy about the first episode.
Yeah.
We just felt like it was too short, and with the emotional connection, something feels off with the fact that certain people didn't come back to the show to do voices. Something felt off just by not having Chris Evans play Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I think one of the bigger issues for me was just that it just felt like the first Avenger, but just condensed into 30 minutes and just gender swapped. I mean, I think that was kind of the bigger issue with me. With the whole episode, I still kind of thought it was decent, but I was just thinking you didn't really do much with the whole what if concept. But this one I think does more with the what if concept, because not only is it is T'Challa Star-Lord, or as Nebula likes to say, Cha-Cha, which I think that's a great
Cha-Cha.
This episode, it does great at exploring the ripple effects of what an event like that would cause, and T'Challa just fucking cracked a cold one with Thanos, and now he's gone straight.
Yeah. You know what I mean? He's great at debates. You know what I mean? And he was able to turn Thanos all around. And you see that when he was this young boy, and he was like I'm tired of living in this bubble that is Wakanda, and and I want to see the world, I want to explore. and see him being him picked up by the ship, and then there is a reason why people say, well, why is he called Star Lord? It's like, well, he is a lord and he is in the stars, so it makes sense for him to be Star Lord more than Peter Quill to be Star Lord.
Goofy.
You know what I mean? So that would kind of make more sense. But yeah, I mean, and in this episode, pretty much everybody's returning voices except for like Dave Bautista, who's not Drax in this. Even though they did get somebody who did sound a lot like Dave Bautista. Like if you didn't probably know they swapped out, you probably think it was Dave Bautista because the guy who was voicing.
Yeah, I thought that voice was a little off, but he did a good job.
Yeah, and you see Drax, his family is safe, since Thanos didn't become a whole genocidal murderer. Which people are trying to, even though he's still trying to argue his point is a little bit, it's like, well, no, technically it wasn't really genocide. It's random, so it's not really genocide.
No, it's random.
You know what I mean?
It's genocide.
You know what I mean?
Cool. it's
not really.
It's like cool motive, still murder.
Yeah.
Cool motive, still murder.
Yeah.
But he's right. It is efficient though.
Yeah.
He's right though. You couldn't argue with what he was saying. It was still fucked up. Like.
I don't know, but you know what I mean. Maybe they should have did it, longer episode where they showed that debate between him and Thanos. You know what I mean, back and forth.
Oh, I would have loved that.
You know what I mean?
That would have been awesome.
But he did do some bad things before T'Challa got to him because Nebula and him still have kind of a shaky relationship because he did still torture Nebula and do all that stuff to her. So, he still kind of did a lot of bad stuff before he turned around. But now Thanos is a part of the whole.
But he also, it's clear that this is before he ran into Gamora because she's not a part of this episode.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah, she's not part of this episode, and it explains that. So since Thanos didn't go on kind of his whole rampage to get more power, that vacuum got filled by the Collector. And was that Benicio del Toro doing the voice for the Collector?
Yep, that was him.
Yeah.
He reprised the role.
Okay, because it sounded a little bit
not
different.
only that, but the entire not only that, but the entire cast of the Black Order. They came back. So Carrie Coon, Tom Von Lawler, they all reprised their roles as Thanos' henchmen from Infinity War.
Okay. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah. And so this kind of like I said, it's not just Guardians of the Galaxy over again, condensed into 30 minutes, like how kind of I thought the first episode was of like First Avenger. This is like a whole new story. It's telling like a heist. Nebula comes to T'Challa with the whole plan of trying to break into the Collector, who's now all super jacked because he's had all these augmentations and enhancements, and now he's got all these weapons. Like you see in the line of weapons that he has Mjolnir, his Captain America shield. He's wearing Hela's headdress that she has. So he's got all these kind of different weapons. So I guess that's presumably supposed to mean people like Thor and people like Captain America are dead since he has their weapons. And I thought, that was kind of really cool. This whole heist element, they kind of bring in of him trying to do this thing. And, T'Challa being a part of the Ravengers and how he's kind of turned the Ravengers around. And they're like, kind of these peacekeepers of the galaxy and doing all these great things for the galaxy.
Yeah, they've become basically Robin Hood of the galaxy.
Yeah, Robin Leeches of the galaxy, pretty much, as as Michael Rooker was saying. Yeah, Robin Leeches of the galaxy. And yeah, I mean, everybody knows who he is. He's famous, you know what I mean? Everybody, wants to just be around him. It's like he's just this great person that, everybody just knows who he is. And it's kind of awesome. Jenna, what were some of your favorite elements of this episode?
I think my favorite elements of this episode actually was, to me, I don't know, the character design in all of this is awesome. So, and
they had no right to make Nebula look that damn good.
Facts, I was like,
right?
Voice?
I didn't realize that was Nebula for a second. I was like, what?
No, when I finally it took me a millisecond, and I realized she was like, okay, Cha-Cha. I was like, ooh, I like her, but like it was pretty much Nebula and the Collector were actually my favorite kind of like, this would be interesting, because the Collector never came off to me as someone who I would be afraid of, right? He didn't really ever come off to me
he was never menacing in Guardians or in any of his other appearances.
But in this one, it was like, oh shit, like he moving at ass, like, wait, like, bro, don't go out like that. But T'Challa's relationship, and then him coming back to Wakanda too, like, I really want, if anything, that I want this version of Star-Lord to be fleshed out, similar to almost like Loki. Like, give me an episode, like an episodic storyline that fleshes this out a little bit more, because T'Challa is such a engaging character. I also got kind of sad though, because Chadwick Boseman, man.
Yeah,
that's my twin, and it's like, damn, bro, I love you. He's such an amazing actor, and I'm just so
this entire episode, I loved it, but it felt bittersweet at the same time, because we know that this is probably one of the last times we'll see Chadwick Boseman perform, and we know he's also recorded 3 more episodes for What If.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So we're gonna see this character again.
Yeah, that would be dope. Yeah, because the What If series is prepping super fans to understand that, like, no, we can have superheroes of different races and genders fill these roles, and they be just as good. So shut the hell up. Like, shut up already. Because if we can accept a multiverse, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
let's be real. Peter Quill kind of sucks.
Yeah.
He did, and T'Challa, he's just more engaging. The thing that interested me in this version was Wakanda being quote unquote destroyed, and then when he came back, that was my only issue, because I was like, I wish I would have known like what happened in Wakanda, and then like I wish they could have introduced like Storm and Shuri kind of being Black Panther. I thought that would be a great segue into introducing like Shuri as Black Panther, because when he left, that role, you know what I mean, probably need to be filled.
Right.
So we can get a different Black Panther. It's just, I appreciate them opening up the series and the timelines and giving us the variety that we crave. Like, they're just like Rick and Morty. I like their writing group. They kind of like say fuck you to the snotty ass brats, and I'm here for it. Because we're getting the content that's really good and it's interesting, and we really get to see why we fell in love with these comics and these characters to be with. So I'm really excited, and I think this is the only time I'll ever like. My apologies if children listen to this, please don't. But this is the only time that I think I'll ever be a Marvel fan, because I didn't like the movies too much. I didn't care too much for like the Avengers and stuff. It was cute, but those movies don't age well. If you look back to the first Iron Man, it didn't at all.
Wow.
So, but these, no, it sucks. But these TV series, I think that's its like strength, is that they can break these up. But Marvel's really good at doing it. So this is just gold mine for them, honestly.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm fangirling again, my bad.
Yeah.